Chief Justice Owiny-Dollo retired as one of the worst Chief Justice in the whole world. He left a dark judiciary. Last week, he retired.
Yesterday, Sunday the 18th, January 2026, marked my 70th year on earth, hence the constitutional requirement for retirement from judicial service and the office of Chief Justice. The consequential function we are witnessing today gives effect to this reality.
So when you see Owiny-Dollo retiring, I had a sigh of life. In fact, Owiny-Dollo is retiring in shame. If we were in the Yakuza culture or in the Japanese culture, Owiny-Dollo will fall on a sword and die of shame, because the way he has handled our judiciary, he took it to the executive. Yet ordinarily, the judiciary must be independent but working with the other arms of government. Uganda has three arms of government: the judiciary, the legislature, which is parliament, and the executive. But the executive has managed to swallow all of them, including the judiciary. Let me remind those who are in the judiciary that when fighting for democracy, the judiciary must be part of it by giving out revolutionary rulings that streamline our constitution. Under Owiny-Dollo, it was an extension of the regime. In fact, Owiny-Dollo is a great example of failure of the judiciary. So in this episode, I've come to talk about Owiny-Dollo's retirement to also highlight one of the greatest weaknesses that made him the worst Chief Justice. But most importantly, the study materials we can learn from the politics of our nation. But before I do this, I want to let you know that if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. And if you're watching this video from a different platform, please head on to YouTube, type in Sula Mawagali. There's a lot of content of this nature. If geopolitics and economics is what you want, this will be definitely the right channel for you to subscribe to. First of all, Owiny-Dollo attained the seat of the Chief Justice, and he was elevated among others even with less qualification. For example, Justice Esther Chisache was more qualified by Owiny-Dollo, but Owiny-Dollo was made Chief Justice and he failed to deliver. It's the reasons why he normally felt bad that he's leading people with more experience. The reason as to why I'm saying that Owiny-Dollo is one of the worst Chief Justice, I will normally go back to his rulings. During the presidential petition 2021, we saw when the judiciary ran to disarray, the Chief Justice Owiny-Dollo was cited by the land judge Esther Chisache that he wanted to confiscate his file, to an extent that a judge who had a contrary view to what Owiny-Dollo wanted was closed out of the temple of justice, and he had to address the media outside the court. In fact, this is what happened.
So I'm very surprised that the Chief Justice of Uganda has chosen to use barbaric means. Before I read, I want to note that my file has been confiscated by the Chief Justice of Uganda. But nevertheless, I'm working from a duplicate copy.
In her ruling, which she read from a duplicated copy, she agreed with Kyagulanyi on some of the matters that arose in the case.
Chief Justice had further directed me that my ruling will be read at a later date after he and the other members of the quorum had probably vetted my ruling. I found that order unconstitutional, and I chose to disobey it. When I was appointed a judge of this court in 2009, I swore to uphold the Constitution of Uganda, and I also took the judicial oath, and I am acting based on those undertakings I made. However, what is of surprise to me is that my file has apparently been confiscated on the orders of the Chief Justice.
she went back.
Justice and the other members of the quorum have opted not to be part of this afternoon's proceedings, and I respect their decisions.
That is Justice Esther Chisase. Before Owiny-Dollo doing that, he had to put in mind the history of elections in our country. Uganda has ever had 2 civil wars after independence. One was in 1966. The reason that's why it came because of an election, a referendum that was held in 1964. In 1980, we had a disputed election. 1980, we had a civil war for 5 years. Even before making decisions, especially on the presidential petition, you must put in mind where the country comes from. Owiny-Dollo never put it in mind. Worst case scenario, before that ruling, Owiny-Dollo was seen in State House. His cars were seen visiting General Kaguta Museveni. The news talked about it.
These photos and video, which were widely circulated on social media, show the convoy of the Chief Justice, Deputy Chief Justice, and the Principal Judge leaving State House Entebbe recently. This led to some members of public to question whether these visits were not influencing the preparations for hearing the presidential petition that was filed by Robert Kyagulanyi. Judiciary spokesperson Jameson Karamani has come out to clarify that these were official working visits and were in no way related to the presidential election petition, as has been claimed.
It was at a function of the swearing in of a new judge, Honorable Lady Justice Margaret Apinyi, which took place on the 10th of February. The second time the Chief Justice was at State House was during the John Room celebration day, which was on the 16th.
Karimani says the misinformation floating around is only intended to undermine the integrity of the judiciary.
It is intended to derail people, to think that there was a discussion which was secret about especially the ongoing petition.
Chief Justice Alfonse Owiny-Dollo himself also personally responded to these claims on Friday.
We are here because you believe in the rule of law, which is a commendable thing. We are here because you believe left to do their work. This court can do something. Leave the courts of law to sit down and render justice, as is their mandate to do.
The Supreme Court will start hearing the presidential petition on 24th February. Joyce Nakato, NTV Weekend Edition.
That is the news. Okay, let me assume it was official duty. The timing was wrong. Owiny-Dollo ought to have told the president that since I am going to have a ruling on you, maybe wait for some time. I'll come maybe 2 days after the ruling or anything. But for you, your cars to be seen in State House a day before your ruling, it brings conflict of interest. Judges tell us and all lawyers that justice must be seen being done. In that case, I didn't see justice being done. Owiny-Dollo was so political, partisan, and a weak judicial officer who failed to preside over our judiciary. It took our judiciary straight to the executive. There is no Chief Justice who has ever failed to deliver his work like Justice Owiny-Dollo. He's become a dark spot on the judiciary, but also in the rulings of an entire country. Away from that, there is a day Chief Justice Owiny-Dollo, after the 2021 general election. Remember, after election, the Chief Justice presides over the election of the Speaker in Parliament. It was hotly contested by Rebecca Kadaga and Jacob Oulanyah, and we all know Jacob Oulanyah is a friend to the Chief Justice. After Jacob Oulanyah was elected, Speaker Rebecca Kadaga asked Owiny-Dollo to make a concession speech. Owiny-Dollo refused. He showed that he doesn't have, he oppresses the freedom of speech. In a democracy, even if someone is going to make a concession speech that is bitter, is given a free will. For a Chief Justice to block Rebecca Kadaga from making a concession speech because he contended against your friend, it showed how partisan, how impatient, how unlearned Owiny-Dollo is. In fact, this is what happened.
Honorable Cecilia, just a moment. If anyone thinks it's more important than others in this parliament, the next time I'm going to order him or her to be thrown out. There is a limit to sensibility.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I think we need to thank God for what has just happened so peacefully. And I think we need to appreciate what the President has just said. I stand here to make a request on behalf of the outgoing Speaker of Parliament, who has requested to be given 1 or 2 minutes to say a word. And I don't know, Chair, whether it will be done
We have not yet,
before or after.
Honorable Cecilia, we've gone through a process of electing a speaker. People have cast ballots. The outcome is not officially known. People have been celebrating out of speculations, out of rumors, until the Chief Justice announces the outcome of the voting. Whatever else you know is rumor. So please, let us go methodically and peacefully. Then you can make your request and a decision will be made.
So you clearly see that Owiny-Dollo was surrounded by controversies, failure, and such big moments made his tenure look big. Judges must learn, even footballers in talent, there are moments that make a player. It is the truth. Not that they don't do good things. Big moments make history. Every time Owiny-Dollo was faced with a platform to make history for a betterment, he ended up making the worst choice. I prayed hard that you retire. It will be a very good thing for our jurisprudence. The reason I'm saying that Owiny-Dollo is one of the worst Chief Justice, normally, a leader is defined by a moment. There is a parliament that was defined by the age limit. There is a parliament that was defined by coffee. That is the last parliament. There is a parliament that was defined by the removal of the term limits. Okay? There is a parliament that was defined by the making of the 1995 constitution. So every leader can be defined by something. Even John Museveni will be defined as by the 1980 Bush War. Owiny-Dollo was defined by the worst. That is the presidential petition, the way he handled it. It defined him. Even the way he was so political, inclining and being a partisan on the way he speaks. Okay? So for me, the reason one, I think Owiny-Dollo is one of the worst Chief Justice to ever be. He loved the press more than delivering. It is the truth. But under General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, I expect that normally officers are picked not on merit, but because what they can deliver to the political system. If it was merit, there is no Owiny-Dollo would have come the Chief Justice when there is Esther Chisache and others who had very good qualification than his, who had a very great experience than his. It is why even when the new Chief Justice was appointed, he has gone in history as one who has been elevated at the highest, the quickest, jumping queues. He has been elevated. I may not expect much more from the new Chief Justice. Of course, that's my opinion. Remain yours truly, Mr. Makindi. Kabye Sulaiman Magli. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe, like, and comment so that I can be motivated to do more of such videos. I'll see you on another one. Peace.